It's literally just people sitting down in a room thinking, what is the most absurd, horrific thing that we can think of that nobody's done before and that will shock people? And who can we pay to actually do it for us? Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, we do videos on creepy and disturbing things, and today we are back with part 2 of the screamer / shock site Iceberg. And the first video did pretty well for my channel, and I just want to say thank you so much, but also y'all are sickos. However, I'm not gonna lie, it is nice to know that I'm not the only person with an extremely morbid curiosity. This part 2, we are getting into the depths of this iceberg. This iceberg is getting worse. I'm not gonna lie, I did have to take a few breaks while researching this because it got a little bit gnarly at some times, and there's also some things that I can't unsee, but hey, I do it to myself and I punish myself just for you guys. Now we are going to do tiers 4 and 5 today. We're going to start tier 6 because it didn't break up really well. So I am going to go ahead and do a few from tier 6 as well to kind of even it out. And then there will be one more part to this series where we'll do, I believe, 6 and 7. Or 6, 7, and 8, I think. Before we get into today's video, we know that this one's AdSense is going to be, if not highly reduced, turned off completely. And so this video is supported by a sponsor. So we're gonna roll that. Thank you for watching the sponsor, and I will be right back with you. Have you guys noticed that I've been glowing lately? It is all thanks to today's sponsor, Dime Beauty. Dime Beauty is a skincare brand that is not only effective, but super clean. There's nothing not to love. All of their products are made in the USA, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, and all their products are sustainably packaged in 100% recycled packaging. On top of all of that, they're extremely transparent about all the ingredients in their products. Their products never contain parabens, sulfates, phthalates, or BPA/BPS. I have been doing my Dime skincare routine day and night. Here I'm doing my nighttime routine. I already used their gentle jelly cleanser in the shower, and now I'm applying their super skin toner. I have 3 different serums from them. I kind of change it up, but here I'm using my favorite product of theirs, which is their Hyper Glow serum. I feel like it gives my face that super dewy glow that I love. Then I always use the restorative night cream at night. I love this cream. It's super hydrating and my skin feels so soft in the morning. I go ham on moisturizer during these winter months. I love that none of their products have any fragrance either. I cannot do products so close to my nose if they have fragrances in them. Dime offers 60-day returns and they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee, so you can try them out with no risk. Go to dimebeautyco.com/Hannah20 and enter promo Hannah20 at checkout to get 20% off your own Dime skincare routine. Okay, so in part 1, I realized that I forgot to give credit to the Iceberg maker on Reddit, and I feel terrible, but hey, better late than never. So just a big shout out. The user of this is user/OKManufacturer5157. Kind of sounds like a throwaway account to me, but either way, they created this iceberg and posted it, and that is why we are here today. Like I said, there's a lot in the rest of this iceberg that I have never heard of before, which I thought I had seen and heard of pretty much every dark, depraved corners of the internet, but apparently I was wrong. A couple disclaimers as usual, especially for this, is do not go to these websites yourself. At least I obviously can't control what you do, but I highly, highly, highly don't recommend. If you do go to these sites, you're doing them at your own risk. People with medical conditions could be affected by these sites, either from shock or flashing lights, strange noises, just lots of stimulation and stuff. Like if you have a medical condition, definitely don't go to these sites. Again, if you do, that is at your discretion. For everyone else, there's also a risk of malware or viruses if you go to these sites. I am very careful when I research for these videos, but even I, of course, am at risk of downloading this crap on my own computer. So just be very careful. But when in doubt, just don't go at all if you're not sure. And last, if you do go in spite of the malware risk, and if you don't have any medical conditions like epilepsy that could be affected by some of these sites, also, I warned you. I told you not to do it. And if you did it anyway, I can't, you know? That's the point of this video, is that you don't have to go look at them yourself. And if you did, then, you know, I can't help you. I'm really sorry. You can't unsee the things that you saw. So, all right, without further ado, very long intro. Without further ado, let's get into it. Tier 4 starts off with runthegauntlet.org, not very obscure. In fact, I made an entire video about runthegauntlet.org. I will try to put a card up here, I think it's on this side, and also link it in the description. So if you want to watch that video of mine, you're welcome to do so. But right off the bat, I'm just saying, don't go run off and go to runthegauntlet.org before you listen to what it's about, because the website, even if you don't actually go play the game, the website is very not safe for life. Like, it's just porn and violence the second you click on it. So just a warning, don't go to the website before you know what you're getting into. Anyway, if you go to the website, you bypass all of the crazy little video previews that are, again, like I said, not safe for life or definitely not work. Then if you chose to go run the gauntlet, it's kind of a game. It's a series of videos that get worse and worse as you play. So if you choose to enter the gauntlet, go and run the gauntlet, the video will play. You cannot pause the video and you cannot go on to the next video until that video is over. And then the videos get more and more gross, more gory as you progress through the game. It's a test to see how far you can handle the depravity that is the internet. E.g., level 1, the easiest level, is 2 women arm wrestling and then one of their arms breaks, literally on camera, like see the bone snap. That's the most tame, easiest level. Some of the other videos include bot flies. Others are just violent and gore. There's some that involve animals. And like I said, you cannot pause any of the videos or skip any of them if you don't want to see a particular one. The whole point is that you have to sit through every single one and you cannot finish the game without seeing all of them. However, of course you can close out of it. I have never had an issue with the site, and if you choose to leave, you can simply close your browser. Like I said, if you are interested in this weird, infamous internet challenge, feel free to go watch my video on it, because I go in depth and I talk about each video in it one by one. Last Measure is next on this list. This was a shock site made all the way back in 2003 by a group that called themselves the GNAA. That stands for the Gay N-Word Association of America. When you went to that page, it had the Goatse image in the background. You're gonna need to know, like, the most infamous ones, Tub Girl, Lemon Party, Goatse, for this video, FYI. So if you haven't yet, please go watch part 1. And again, I'm not saying this to plug my own videos. I mean, I am, let's be honest. But also, like, parts of this video will not make sense. It's going to make a lot more sense if you go watch part 1 and watch these in order. Anyway, this Last Measure website has the Goatse picture as the background. And then other browsers uncontrollably pop up over it, like pictures of Lemon Party, the Tub Girl image, and the Pillow Fight image. Now, I had never heard of that one, and that one is not on this iceberg, so let me explain what that image is. This is simply a shock image of a man's genitals covered in caca. So you're on this site that is flashing up all these browsers of these very shocking images that a lot of people, if they go to this website, you know, probably haven't seen them before, especially back in 2003. And an audio starts playing while you're on the website that says, "Hey everybody, I'm looking at gay porno." It plays on a loop so that if you were at work or if you were in the room with anybody else, they would hear that and, you know, side-eye you. This one also had other functions that would sometimes freeze people's computers or just make it very difficult to exit out of, especially when you're in shock at seeing these photos and not expecting it, and then panic clicking and trying to get out of it. Next is 2 Kids, 1 Sandbox. Don't worry, this one does not involve a child or anyone underage. Thank God. I was a little scared to look this one up at first because I was really scared that it was going to have something to do with a kid, but it does not. That said, this is a clip from a adult film, and the woman is putting a toy, if you know what I mean, into the man's urethra. And I know that just does not sound possible, and I did see this clip, and let me tell you, it's not, or it shouldn't be. This is extreme things that, like I said, are meant to be shocking, and the average person just would not be able to or have any desire to do this. However, honestly, based on the clip, it seemed like they were both really enjoying it. So who am I to judge? Okay, next is One Guy or One Man, One Screwdriver. This is the same person that made the One Man, One Jar video that everybody knows and has a love-hate relationship with. So if that tells you anything about it, this is just one of his lesser known videos. So in this video, he's doing the same thing with the jar as he was in One Man, One Jar, except the jar does not break in this video. And at the same time, he has the handle of a screwdriver. So the handle, not the metal sharp part, but the handle in his urethra. Again, I don't know how people even manage to do these things in the first place. It shouldn't be possible. And like I said, this is extreme. Anyway, he takes it out in the video and then goes into a bathroom where there's just a lot of blood. Basically meaning this is not the first time that he had done it and had probably done it multiple times in a row for this video. I can't imagine, like, this makes me lightheaded just thinking about it. I cannot imagine what it's like for people with penises that hear that people do this kind of stuff. But damn, I have to say, I do just, like, honestly feel bad for this guy because he's obviously, like, only, gratified, we'll say, by some very, very extreme things. And I mean, he didn't ask for that, I'm sure, to have these like fetishes, you know, and he's not hurting anybody. He's only involving himself in it. So really, like, again, who am I to judge if he's doing it only to himself? And I mean, that has to suck though, because you know, he seriously injured himself. Like in the video, you could see he seriously injured himself. Anyway, the other thing about this video is that some people do rumor it to be fake and set up. I'm not sure how it could be. It looked extraordinarily real to me. However, it is possible, you know, I've been tricked before. It is possible that this was set up and fake. It's just hard to believe it would be if he was willing to do One Man, One Jar. Deleted video is next. This is just another shock/prank YouTube video. This video has the thumbnail of that little sign that we've all seen that says this video has been deleted, except the video is not actually deleted. It's the thumbnail to kind of trick people into thinking the video doesn't exist. But then if they click on it anyway, it's just a 1-second clip again of a scream and, of course, Regan from The Exorcist. Because if it's not Jeff the Killer, it's Regan from The Exorcist. FindMinecraft.com is next. This is a pretty basic one. It was registered in August of 2013. And the reason that it was called Find Minecraft was to, of course, trick people into thinking that it was going to be a Minecraft website, when in fact it's just another screamer. It's flashing lights, screaming, and a picture of Jeff the Killer flashing. Heya.org is next. This is actually not a screamer in itself, but it is a umbrella website that owns a lot of the other screamers. So they are most known for making Lemon Party. I don't believe they actually took the Lemon Party photo. Like, I'm pretty sure that photo is probably most likely from a adult film, like just a clip from an adult film or something along those lines. But I believe that they were the ones that originally like found that picture and like put it up on the internet to shock people. They also made McElroy.com, which is simply more scat porn. Whoop.org, whatever it is, WHOOMP, but it's a short clip of a Nerf football coming out of a woman's V while the song Whoop There It Is plays, and Besties.org, which yet again is just two men having consensual sex. happypuppies.net. Now, I was really scared to look this one up because the word puppies is in it, so I had a feeling that it was going to have something to do with animals, but thankfully it didn't, so we get to talk about it. This one does not have any animals involved. Now, once later down the line, there are a couple ones with animals in this, and I'm straight up going to skip them. Just FYI. So you don't have, there's not going to be any animal cruelty talk in this video. So this was a site called Happy Puppies, simply to confuse the viewer into believing it was going to be a cute, wholesome website. But it was really a slideshow of other photos. Again, this featured Tub Girl, Lemon Party, and Goatse, and then a whole host of other images like lots of genital mutilation, e.g. a man's testicles being stretched, more feces and scat stuff. Pretty much a woman doing the very similar things of the Goatse image. Not female Goatse, like we'll talk about later, but just a woman doing something similar. Like I said, I was just really grateful that this one was not about actual puppies. Monkeys on their back. This one, again, does not have to do with animal cruelty. It does have monkeys in it, but it's not anything like bad to the monkeys, so don't worry. And I can actually show you this one. This one's saved for YouTube. And this one's actually really fascinating to me because this is what a lot of people consider one of the original screamers before we coined the term screamer, before we knew what screamers were or purposely made them, because this was actually an anti-heroin PSA ad that played on regular television all the way back in 1970, so 54 years ago. So like I said, I'm going to show you the clip, but since there's technically a jump scare in it, I'm going to describe what happens in the clip first so that A, you don't get jump scared, and B, you can decide if you want to skip the clip. So the first few seconds just shows a wind up toy monkey and a little girl's voice that says, "They say people addicted to heroin have a monkey on their back. Isn't that cute?" And then the jump scare is that it suddenly switches to a photo of a real monkey, and there's a little monkey, like there's a scream, but again, it's not like a monkey in pain or anything. It's literally just a monkey vocalizing, I believe. And then on the screen they say, "Why do you think they call it dope?" Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I will turn the volume way down so that the scream doesn't get anybody. And it's really not that bad. Like I said, it's from over 50 years ago. So I do, if you're interested, I do encourage you to watch it. However, I'll put a timestamp here if you do want to skip the little clip. So here it is.
They say people addicted to heroin have a monkey on their back. Isn't that cute?
So not that scary, right? However, remember, it's 1970, you're a child, you've never been jump scared in your life, you don't even know what a jump scare is, and you were not expecting or signing up for a jump scare. Your face is really close to the TV because the little screens were so small, and then you're just minding your own business and you get this. I can see why that scarred a few children, probably adults too. Now, the campaign itself made absolutely no sense. Like, I don't understand what she's saying. I know the phrase somebody having a monkey on their back can refer to addiction, meaning that you have something that like won't let go of you. But I have to say, it doesn't make a lot of sense overall. Like, why does she say, "Isn't that cute?" And why does it say, "Why do you think people call it dope?" I don't get it. There was another clip. There was another similar commercial in this PSA of a drug pusher guy from the same year. And I am guessing it's the same thing because it also says, "Why do you think they call it dope?" at the end. This one's not a jump scare, so I'll try to include this clip in here for you as well for more context.
Hey, kiddies, gather round. The man with the goodies is here. Here's a little beauty for me to Uty. Just inhale and sniff. It is aeroplane glue. Oh, one whiff, man, and
Isn't it true that sniffing glue can damage your liver and kidneys?
Cool it, kid. Looky. Amphetamines, bennies, dexies, meth.
They say amphetamines can cause something like schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. In most cases, it does not last. Cool it, kid. Now for the barbs. Neato, nice, easy downers.
Withdrawal from barbiturates can cause
Will
convulsions.
you convulse yourself out of here? Grass. Anything wrong with pot?
They're not sure yet. They just started studying about it.
Worry wart. Dig, everybody. L. SD.
Bad trips and a chance of chromosome damage.
How do you know you got
Everything you
chromosomes?
got there can hurt you, can't it?
Sure, kid. Why do you think they call it dope? Hey, where's everybody going?
So very strange, right? Like very strange anti-drug PSA from back in the day, but I love vintage crap like that, so very interesting. Anyway, that was one of the original screamers before there were screamers, which were invented more in the early 2000s. 4 Girls Fingerpaint. This is from the same director that brought us 2 Girls 1 Cup, so you can imagine what it entails. I'm not going to describe this one in depth. In fact, I'm not going to describe a lot of these just scat ones in depth because there are graphic descriptions on the internet, and I am going to describe, like, the point of these videos is so that people that are morbidly curious, such as myself, can know what's in this type of stuff, know what's out there on the internet, but they can spare themselves of actually looking it up themselves, right? And I'm going to do that in this video for as many of these topics as possible. I'm already going to get demonetized, I'm sure, for all of the stuff that I'm talking about before. That's fine. Like, I already know that's the price of making a video like this. So just know that it's not for that reason that I'm not describing it in depth. It's more of the fact that it's just all the same, pretty much. It's people that, unless you have a fetish like this, it's gross to you, you know, and that's the point, is that it's shocking. So there's a lot of these in here. I will tell you when it is, when the video is something with scat, but I'm not going to go step by step through what happens in the video like I am for a lot of others, just because I believe unless you are afflicted with that fetish, which I have a feeling 99.999% of my audience is not, you don't want to hear it. And for those that really, really want to know, they are welcome to go look it up. So just kind of another disclaimer as we talk about this, but this is pretty extreme scat porn. It involves 4 women this time, and it would involve in the video everything that you would expect. Pooping, vomiting, doing it in each other, on each other. I personally can't stomach going to watch one of these myself. I do highly recommend Wang's video for this, actually. He's done a lot of in-depth videos on these kind of depravities of the internet, and he made a video describing what happens in this video also, if you would like an entertaining way to watch and you can stomach it. Okay, the next one, we're just gonna call it dog. I censored the first word because the first word in it is already gives away like what happens in the video itself, and it's very disturbing. Like I said, we don't do in-depth animal cruelty on this channel. We don't talk about it. I know some people got upset in my rabies video. I didn't think that was going to upset people just because I'm very sensitive to it, and it didn't upset me because it wasn't like a human inflicting something on an animal. It was an animal inflicted by a disease that was out of their control and like super sad and everything. But it's kind of like hurting a bear because they're attacking you is different than going out and hurting an animal literally just because you're a piece of shit, right? So my definition might be different, but all that to say is I am not going to be talking about anything that is just a shock animal video because nobody wants to hear that. And if you do want to hear it, then I would say that's beyond morbid curiosity, but that's just my opinion anyway. So that being said, very much recommend not going to seek this one out, not going to read what happens in this video because it's just, you know. And I think there's one more in this part that also involves an animal that I'm going to skip over, but yeah, just yeah. Okay, let's move on. FortniteBurger.net. Again, this is a site that is simply named off of something to get you to think that it's innocent. It is, you know, Fortnite Burger. There's a burger in Fortnite. But instead, if you went to this site, it was all kinds of Rule 34 of the internet. The site used to feature a photo of Wreck-It Ralph, except somebody photoshopped it to have him have a very, very large you know what, and it was ready to go and out of his pants in the photo. Like, it's so stupid. This one's very much just to ruin people's childhoods. Okay, that was tier 4. Let's move on to tier 5, starting off strong with cake farts. This is another hilarious one from infamous internet, and it is also one that we talked about in the Do Not Research Iceberg. I don't know if it was that one, but we've talked about that before for sure. This is a video of a woman. It's a 2-minute video. It shows footage of a cake covered in chocolate frosting, and then it pans up to a woman. This one's so funny to me. And she says, "Do you know what I like the most?" And then she goes, "Cake farts." In the video, she's Donald Ducking it, meaning she has a shirt but no pants or underwear on. She then takes the ponytail holder out of her hair. She lets her hair down. She gets up on the counter and she proceeds to sit on the cake, and then you can fill in the rest. Oh my God, I am 5. So then you can fill in the rest of what happens in the video based on the title alone. Interestingly enough, this was not a real cake. The frosting was made out of dyed mashed potatoes. She does like lick some of the frosting off of her finger at the beginning of the video, so it would make sense that this part was edible, but that was made out of mashed potatoes, and then the cake itself was made out of silicone. I have no idea why they did that. I honestly don't know why they didn't just use a real cake, but you know, production value probably. I don't know, so it wouldn't melt. Anyway, this woman has since come forward allegedly and said that she thinks the video is funny. She thinks that some of her life choices were just funny to look back on and laugh. Okay, Monkey Sugar is next. I'm going to show you the beginning of this video because the beginning has no jump scares or anything like that, but you can get an idea of the audio.
Monkey Sugar. Anything that makes one physically satisfied. By extension, anything good or desirable. The following are examples of things which are most certainly not monkey sugar.
So after that intro, you just get a 1-minute video of disturbing images. I'm just going to read off a few of the descriptions of the images that are included in this video. A V with thumbtacks in it, damaged anuses, a tattoo, a faceless corpse, splayed testicles, mutilated corpses, a split open hand, a man with a hole in his chest, a strange looking egg, a tied up man, severed legs in a box. Honestly, points for not having just Tub Girl and Goatse. Ogrish.com is next. Ogrish.com was actually LiveLeak before it was called LiveLeak. Basically, a website that believes that nothing should be censored, that information, news, and videos should not have any sort of boundaries on them in order to show real life. LiveLeak, of course, most of you know, was the site to go to watch lots of gore videos that were uncensored. Videos you couldn't find anywhere else on the internet were always on LiveLeak or bestgore.com. But LiveLeak was pretty infamous for this, as well as having lots of uncensored news and stuff like that. Like I said, it used to be ogrish.com, and it was created in the year 2000. The word ogrish means like an ogre, and it didn't change to LiveLeak until 2006. In 2007, the site became pretty well known because they had leaked a video of Saddam Hussein being executed. But then, of course, they're also known for hosting other videos such as beheading videos, other just extreme gore and executions. LiveLeak, however, is now gone. If you go to liveleak.com, it takes you now to a website called Itemfix. Waifu Basics, not sure how to say that. That one's next. This is one we're not going to get too far into because it's more scat stuff, except with vomiting. It's a Japanese couple, and it's a video clip. And that's all you need to know. Rotten.com. This is another pretty infamous website. This one, I actually went a little bit down a rabbit hole and actually spent some time on Rotten.com, at least the one from the Wayback Machine, the one that you could find, because it is actually pretty fascinating. Again, it doesn't just host Tub Girl and Goatse and the ones that everybody, you know, the cheap shock sites, it actually has some like information on it with a lot of the pictures. They were pretty well known for sharing graphic 9/11 photos. And then they were also circulating in the news quite a bit for posting a photo of what was allegedly Princess Diana right after her car accident being gathered up by medical personnel. However, even though it's still debated online, it's pretty well established that this photo or these photos that the paparazzi supposedly took are fake because, first of all, the photo allegedly had 999 on the medical personnel's like vehicle in the background, and 999 is British emergency services number. The one, and this happened in France, in Paris, and that one is 112, not 999. And then the medical personnel in the photo are also wearing the wrong type of uniforms for this. So I would assume that whatever photo was circulating around was a different car accident that people said was Princess Diana. Anyway, Rotten.com was first created in 1996. It was last updated in 2012. And it was taken down officially in 2018, but you can still find a lot of it on the Wayback Machine. The title of this next one is the other one that we're going to skip completely, Cat. You know, same thing as the dog one. It's just animal cruelty. We're going to spare you. Winterroud.com is after that. This was a site that was created by Jeremy Winterroud, and it's named after himself, winterroud.com. At first, Jeremy made this website just to have a place to hold his resume. But eventually, he put the maze game, which we talked about in part 1, on his website, and that brought a lot of traffic to his website. It was very popular for that. And he kept uploading stuff like that. And then it just escalated from there. And he started blogging on it about his personal life, but eventually he even took that stuff off. And then his website became just a screamer, shocker website, mostly like in the jump scare realm, not in the gore realm. Other than Maze Game, he also hosted a game called Hit the Dot. This was a game where you click on the dot, moving around the screen. Every time you click it though, it got smaller and started moving faster until it was impossible, until it was literally impossible to hit the dot. And then of course Reagan from The Exorcist jumps out at you instead. That sounded like it was going to be a joke, but it's not. Seriously, it's all Reagan from The Exorcist or Jeff the Killer. Optical Illusions was another game. It carried you through various optical illusions, and then eventually the next button would become unclickable, and you would instead get an image from, this time, mixing it up, The Exorcist, The Beginning this time. Okay, One Guy, One Basketball, or One Man, One Basketball. There is no information on this one. Has anybody ever seen this one and can confirm? There's no Screamer Wiki on it. There's no Know Your Meme page on it or anything like that. Could not find the actual video. All the links to it have been deleted. All the Reddit posts about it, describing it, have been deleted. So the only information I got on this one was from putting together what it was likely about from Reddit comments on those posts that were deleted. The comments are still there. So based on the Reddit comments, this video was exactly what it sounds like. One man, one jar, except with a basketball. And other than that, I can't help you. That's what I believe it's about based on context of the comments. A lot of people asking how it was even possible. And it's another one that was likely fake or just shouldn't be possible for the vast majority of people. So at least I'm going to tell myself that it was probably fake. Okay, Dance.sfw is next. This was from 2002. People also referred to it as Two Girls, One Disco. I can't stress this enough. This one was so stupid. It's two stick figures dancing to the hamster dance. You know, we've all heard that song. I can't play it for you for copyright reasons, but at the end of the clip, they zoom out only to reveal that the background that these two little stick figures were dancing on was actually an extreme close-up of the Goatse image. Putrid Sex Object is next. Now, brace yourself. If you have not been disturbed by the rest of this iceberg so far, this might be where it starts to push boundaries even for you, morbidly curious viewer. So just be aware of that. Trigger warning, I guess, going into this one. Trigger warning for this whole entire iceberg, but especially for this one. This one is so ridiculous, so over the top, that it's almost funny, but just because it's literally just people sitting down in a room thinking, what is the most absurd, horrific thing that we can think of that nobody's done before and that will shock people. And who can we pay to actually do it for us? Now, I read on the Screamer Wiki that this video is actually illegal to distribute in a lot of countries. So definitely do not find it and share the link with anybody. Highly recommend not going to look it up at all, since, like I said, it's something. Also, I just don't want any of you guys to get in trouble. Like, I might be on a watch list somewhere because I did end up stumbling upon the video and I did watch the majority of it. I skimmed through it at least, and once you know what it's about, you'll understand why I did not watch it in full, but I got the gist. I saw most of it. And if I am on a watch list, hi, it's me. I'm making a video about it. It was for research purposes. Everybody vouch for me. Okay, and then before I tell you what this one is about, I also want to give a warning. Like I said, trigger warning already, but this one has to do, I want to say but I don't know if it counts because the animal in it is a livestock animal and it is already deceased. So you don't see any animals harmed in the making of the video. So that's why I'm going to describe this one, because it's not animal cruelty where it actually you don't see an animal suffering or anything like that, but it does involve an animal that is already deceased. So knowing that, I'm going to give you a chance to skip to the next one right now if you don't want to know. Once you know this, you can't unknow it. Okay. Did you skip? If you're still here, you want to know? Okay, suit yourself. This is a video of a man dressed in drag, and we'll talk about it. It is somebody who identifies as a man. Pronouns are or were he, his. We'll talk about that in a second, but he often dressed in drag in some of his videos. So he's dressed in a wig and like a weird wedding dress type thing almost. I think I could show you a still of it here because a lot of it, the beginning part of it is not graphic. So this man is stumbling through this really dilapidated house, like stumbling from room to room. And then eventually we get to the room where there is a cow's severed head on the floor, and the cow's head is skinned, so it's already not super pleasant to look at. But like I said, at least we don't see any animal death in this video. I assume it was a butchered cow for meat, and they somehow got a hold of the rest of it for this video. So he just goes to town on this cow. I mean, you can deduce what this is so far based on what I've said, right? He very passionately makes out with the cow. He then takes its organs, because its organs are laying around as well, and just rubs them all over his body, in and out of his body. He then proceeds to masturbate using the cow head, just all over it. I don't know how he did this. All I can say is that I hope the actor in this video got paid a shit ton of money to do it. I don't know how. I don't know how you perform in a video like that. Like how the pee functions in a sexual way, if you know what I mean. I don't want to be super graphic because of YouTube, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, so I stumbled on the video. It's disgusting. It is really disgusting. It's as gross as you think it is. And it's just so absurd, though. It's so over the top. And like I said, it's you cannot take it seriously, even though, yes, it is just so disgusting. It's also just so ridiculous. It's so clear that they're trying to top all the other shock videos that have happened. The actor in the video was tracked down. This actor is actually Thistle Harlequin is what he went by. I believe his real name was Alexandro Guerrero. He passed away in 2011, a very long time ago. I don't know how he passed away, but I was at least able to confirm his pronouns. There's other rumors on Reddit and stuff I could not confirm. I wanted to know why he agreed to make this video. And like I said, there were some rumors that he just did it for the money. I hope that that's all he did it for, but there are some people out there that are just willing to do anything, I guess. So that one got me. That one got me a little bit. Okay, we have to move on. We're moving on to good intentions. Here's another one. I'm going to play the beginning of the video for you because it starts out wholesome, inspiring, nice pictures, flowers, dolphins, happy people. And then it gets interrupted by this image. Again, I can show you this. I mean, it's a little disturbing, but not too bad. And then it goes on to other disturbing imagery. Compared to the other stuff we've seen in this Iceberg, especially for what we just talked about, this is literally nothing. It wasn't that bad at all. There is one pretty graphic gore photo in it, but other than that, it's like a flash of the painting The Sea Monster by Theodore Kittelson, a man with face clamps stretching his face, some demonic images, and then the same image before we went to this, before the video ends. I can see why, if you weren't seeking this kind of thing out and you thought it was going to be a wholesome video, why this would be disturbing to you, but for the most part, this one is nothing. Okay, Goatse Girl. Did you guys know there was a Goatse Girl? I didn't. So this one is pretty predictable. It's a video though, instead of a photo. So this is a man and a woman having consensual relations that involve her butthole. They finish and he completes inside of, I'm not offended by this. I'm just trying to say it for YouTube terms, trying not to get completely yeeted off the platform. And then she does a very similar goatsy thing, except she's like rolled back on her back with her bum in the air and then kind of, you know, pushes the stuff out. But she does it so badly that she has like an anal prolapse. It's gross, but it also looks so painful, but she does not seem upset in the video. Everybody seems happy as a clam. Now, again, I just want to stress one more time that this is not normal. Like, I don't want people to go and, if they do watch these videos or even hearing about these videos, think like, oh my God, are people just doing this? No, the vast majority of the population are not doing this, should not do this, and it's very dangerous to do stuff like this. You could seriously injure yourself. She seriously injured herself, as we saw in the video, and probably had to go to the hospital, or at least the doctor. I'm just saying, this is not a normal sexual experience. This is literally the point of this, is to gross people out and shock people. This is extreme. I just want to be so perfectly clear that the very, very large majority of the population are not going to do something like this. And nobody should be doing stuff like this, honestly, because they seriously injure themselves. Worm Gush. This was actually two different videos that were on wormgush.com. One of the videos is just also very Rule 34 of the internet. One man's smaller pee putting it into another man's very large pee, but his urethra. Again, things that shouldn't be possible and aren't for most. The second video is just a man and a woman, and it's scat yet again. Zoeken. Zoeken was a screamer made in 2004, very similar to the What's Wrong with This Photo that we talked about in part 1. However, in this one, it shows two identical photos and tells you to find 3 differences. After 15 seconds, again, after you're distracted and focused on finding the differences, when you least expect it, you get a jump scare. I'm going to show you the photo that you get because without the music and the screams and the jump scare and when you're expecting it, it's really not that scary. It's just Amy Peterson from Fright Night, the 1985 horror movie, but it's not when you expect it. On the picture, there's a scream and she's like zooming in and out in it to, you know, jump scare the viewer. Okay, that was tier 5. We're gonna just start tier 6. We're gonna do the first 3 of tier 6 because the next video would be like way too long if we didn't. This video is already long, but hey, you know. The first one on tier 6 is Chomp.avi. This is yet another one of just competition of who can make the most disgusting thing on the internet. This one again is scat porn. Not going to go too much into the details of this one because it's just scat porn on steroids. It's just like the other videos we've talked about, except they try to make it even worse, even more shocking and more extreme. This one involves 2 men though, not women. Chomp.avi is also known as Do Not Watch. It's believed to have come out on the internet sometime around 2008. There's actually 3 different versions of this video, but I believe they are all pretty similar. The first one called Blood Show 1, then there's Blood Show 2, and then this one, Do Not Watch. We have no idea about the true origins of this video, which has fascinated a lot of people because there's a subreddit dedicated to finding the origins of Chomp.avi. The subreddit, to be fair, is pretty inactive now, but there are hundreds of users on there that have joined that subreddit. The video is believed to have been made by a user named Dog Vomit Slave. And then one of the actors in the video is, again, this is speculation. We don't know this for sure, but it is speculated that it is an actor and a person who is now retired named Patrick Guzzler. He did once star in other gay adult films. He has a profile apparently on gayscatvids.com. I will be honest, I didn't go look to confirm this because I did not want to go to a website with that title personally, but I guess he had a clip from that video on his profile kind of implying that it was him. But other than that, we don't know much about this video, and it fascinates a lot of people. A lot of people are interested, I don't think in like the contents of the video, but just really want to know like who, what, when, where, and why. WomensAlliance.xyz is next. This one's interesting because it's not actually from the early 2000s like a lot of these. This one was actually created in 2020. This one was created by a user named Abak Meat God. AKA, this is the Kekma.net guy. We talked about Kekma.net in part 1. He was the one that made the shock site that had like MAGA in the title, specifically to attract extreme political like Trump supporters to the site to trick them into seeing this stuff. So this is another trick website though, except this one disguises itself as a feminist blog community. When you go to the website, you get this page at first. Again, it tricks you into going. It looks like something innocent. Either actual feminists go to this site who they want to read stories of real women, or also more likely, like with Kekma, it was meant to draw in people who are against feminism and wanted to read stories of feminism just to make fun of it and call them snowflakes, stuff like that. That's speculation, but that's what I think. If you still clicked enter, then instead, where you got something very similar to Kekma, it was not feminist blogs, but rather very disturbing videos, except this time incredibly misogynistic violence against women. Videos of women being tortured, mutilated, and killed while Oh Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison played in the background. And then it would also show illnesses and gross diseases like very, very diseased V's or breasts that were like rotting from like cancer and stuff. Like I said, I'm really unimpressed with stuff like this. And it's just interesting that the creator of this, the Kekma guy, seems to hate everybody on all sides of the political spectrum and also seems to just be the biggest troll of all time because he seemed to want to trick Trump supporters with Kekma into seeing something like this, but then he also wants to trick people that are feminists and stuff like that. This site was originally supposedly supposed to be a different version that was against the Black Lives Matter movement. So just because he's a troll doesn't make this okay, in my opinion. I don't condone this, to be clear. I mean, I obviously don't condone showing people shock sites without them knowing what they're getting into or getting their consent before you send them something like that. I think it's really cruel to send these things without people's consent in general. But it's one thing to have these videos circulating of all these people, consenting adults, doing extreme things or just people doing things to themselves. Like, that's just very different to me than stuff like this, where it's just like perpetuating and spreading misogynistic violence. I would feel the same way if it was against a Black Lives Matter and they were showing racist violence too. Like against marginalized groups. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I feel like the reason it is because it's not like trolls are going to troll, but people that find out about this kind of stuff, people that actually fantasize about and actually enjoy watching violence against women or violence against Black people or violence against marginalized group or what have you are going to go specifically seek this stuff out in order to get pleasure from it and therefore become more desensitized to it and look for more extreme stuff, and then in some rare cases actually act on it. And I don't know, I just don't like it. It just rubs me the wrong way. But anyway, shout out to the anonymous commenter on this Screamer page who went, oh yes, oh my God, so shocking, whatever, yawn. Like, you are so cool. Tell us again how unbothered you are by this extreme violence. You're so cool. Screams pick me, boy. Anyway, okay. We're gonna end with read more Screamers. This one is very lighthearted, which I appreciate. It's a really good one to end on. So this is the last one for today. This one's more like OG trolls doing trolly things. Slightly, you know, way more harmless unless they are targeting people with epilepsy who accidentally go to these pages. But anyway, so you know how on Instagram and other social media in the comment section, people have found that they can say like a comment like, if you want to understand what's going on in this video, let me explain it to you. And then it says read more ... But then when you click read more, it's part of the comment. Like they typed that just to get you to try to click read more, even though it's just text. You know what I mean? It's just like a little trolley prank thing, harmless prank. So there used to be an original version of this that were read more Screamers. Back in the day when Google and YouTube were just kind of getting off the ground, read more was a link when your comment cut off and it said read more. The link that said read more was blue and you could click read more and see the rest of the comment. But of course, trolls figured this out very quickly because back in the day when you put a YouTube video link in the comments, it also showed the title of the video in blue, the blue hyperlink, not the YouTube video URL. So these people could make a Screamer video on YouTube with the title read more, and then it would say like, you know, 12 lines or like how much more is in the comment or whatever. And then it would look as if you were going to expand the comment, but it would actually then be a hyperlink to a YouTube video, but not any YouTube video, a Screamer YouTube video. And they were almost always exclusively, of course, you guessed it, Jeff the Killer and screaming and flashing lights. I'm sure there were others, but that was the most popular one. Like, it is fairly harmless in the end. It's just kind of mean to jump scare people on purpose, especially because you don't know if the person that's going to click on it has epilepsy or some other medical condition that could actually harm them. For the mass majority, it's not going to be, you know, it's just kind of rude. But like for some people, this could have actual health effects on them. So could you not? Still lighthearted though. People can't do it anymore because the read more is not blue. Okay, that's going to be it for tiers 4, 5, and part of 6. We're going to do the rest of 6 next time, as well as I believe 7 and 8 is what it is. Yeah, if you guys could like the video to support the channel. Like I said, I'm really scared that this video is going to get kind of like not recommended out. I might have to censor quite a few words in this in order to get it not totally destroyed by YouTube, but we'll see. We'll try our best. So okay, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much to our patrons on the screen right now. Top tiers are Colin Holmes, The Deck of Cards, Michelle Valdovinos, Little Kittle Cat, Mitchell Schaefer-Meyer, Momo Neon, Marita144, Elderly Hipster, Rebecca Jackson, Quinamon, Cobblecon Anime and Gaming Convention, Sarah the Crazy Fish Lady, Maxie, Ellison Luna, Tiny Mighty Bookworm, A Bunny Apparently, Leon Vanek, I Am in Your Walls, Habromania, Cyberdog Investigations LLC, Vicky Cat, Amy B, Takerch, Dead Without the E, Chara, MH Dave, Ami, Lindsay R, It's Tara, obviously, Shayna R, El Magnificoco, Laura Winter, Lilith, Dana, Ashes, Gosh Zilla, Geo, Arya Anomaly, Ghosty Girl, Mel Miller, Jessica Cook, Mark Fagundes, and Mike.